business principles, Smart Chiropractor show. This makes me think of a graphic. Entrepreneurship isn't hard. I'm doing just fine. And if somebody has 27, they look like they're 87, right? So we're going to talk about stress. Where am I going with that? We're going to talk about how to reduce practice stress with recurring revenue today. If you have started a practice or you've even begun to think about starting a practice, you know that part of having a business involves a certain amount of stress. And with our business model as chiropractors, many of us have a fee-for-service model. Recurring revenue can really smash that stress, that overhang that you have each and every first of the month. Today, we'll talk about why and how you can bust that stress, how you can have a payday practice, and how recurring revenue fits in. Jason?
This segment is sponsored by the Payday Practice, and the Payday Practice is learning how to cover your monthly expenses in one day, guaranteed. It sounds like a crazy promise, but it's actually doable. And let's get into how you do it. It's a way of thinking. As Jeff mentioned early on, most chiropractors have a transactional-based practice. I give you an adjustment, you pay me X amount of dollars. I give you an adjustment, your insurance company pays me X amount of dollars. I provide a service, you provide a payment. Thank you very much. End of story. However, most chiropractors suffer from what we refer to as cuffs, like handcuffs, spelt CUFS, which stands for chronic underlying financial stress. And how do you know if you have that or not? Ask yourself the question, how do you emotionally feel on the first day of every month? And most business owners, and this is not exclusive to chiropractors whatsoever, most business owners get really stressed out when the first of the month comes. Why? Well, typically rent, mortgage, payroll, loans, first of the month. That's when most of these things occur. And it's also the same time that you go back to zero in collections. It is a recipe for disaster. It is actually the recipe. It is the cause of chronic underlying financial stress. And there is a solution. What is the solution? The solution is to figure out and calculate what we refer to as your MVMI, your minimum viable monthly income. Here's the question. If I ask you, how much must you earn next month to not feel financially stressed out? Now, that is not the question that most people ask you. What's your dream? What would you like to make? What would it be great if you could earn? That is not the question we're asking. That's the question that keeps you in financial stress, in my opinion, unless you've asked and answered this first question, which is, what's the least amount of money that I have to make so I don't have to be stressed out? And because we're talking about recurring expenses, each and every month, you've got your rent, you got your mortgage, you got your car payment, you got your payroll, you got all of these recurring expenses. They're not going anywhere. In fact, they're necessary to run your business. Why not think different and apply the payday practice principles, which is, what would your life be like? How would it feel if you knew that the first day of every month went from, oh man, back to zero in collection, here come the bills and financial obligations, and transformed into, yes, it's payday. I just ran enough recurring monthly payments to cover all of my monthly financial recurring responsibilities. So that's handled. Now let's move on with being of service to people based on their needs, not yours. Life changes, business changes, practice changes, your self-esteem changes, your relationships change, and your actual ability to attract more new patients changes when you don't reek of the desperation of needing money. And I don't care how big or how large your practice is. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. If your expenses exceed your income, even if you're making $1 million a month, if your expenses are higher than that, you're under financial stress. So this is not a dollar issue. It is a psychology issue. And it's making sure that you can consistently cover your obligations so you're emotionally free to be able to serve people at your best because you want to, under your terms. In the dictionary, this is what's referred to as freedom. Being able to do what you want, with who you want, when you want, and being able to say no. Not work with the people you don't want to work with, not work with the payers you don't want to work with, not provide the services you don't want to provide. That is the key to freedom in today's day and age. And recurring revenue is really that magical way of thinking to be able to really reduce, in fact, eliminate your financial stress. Now, you may still have other stresses. We're not saying it cures everything. But if you were guaranteed that you could cover your bills each and every month, your financial obligations, and then you have 29, 27, 29, 30, 31 days left in whatever month you're in, to be able to continue to provide services on your terms, most of that additional service will be your profit. That's where the fun kicks in. That's how you eliminate and reduce your financial stress. Building a payday practice is the way to go. Jeff, what have you seen, both experienced for yourself? We run our business this way. We know lots of businesses, unicorns they refer to them as, that have become unicorns because they actually build this monthly recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, and that becomes really the most valuable way to evaluate any business in today's day and age. What have you seen when chiropractors start applying this themselves?
It's just such a dramatic change. I'll say it a little crassly. Starting at zero every month sucks, right? It's just compounding, it's stressful, and it's never ending. And even when you have your best month, as you described, you start back at zero and the same old feelings come back. However, when you transform your practice, and it doesn't mean you need to change anything when I say that, when I say transformation, this is a transformation of mindset first, as Jason has well described, but then it's a transformation of adding in a new opportunity for people to engage and interact with your practice. So this is not about wiping out any of the hands-on care that you deliver. What it is about is being smart with the knowledge, expertise, and tribe that you have and make it easy, just as we talk about with content. Hey, proactively answer the questions people in your community have, put out that content consistently. Guess what? More of your ideal patients come in, but you have better retention, you have more reactivations. It's a very similar, it's like two trains going down the track. When you have recurring revenue services, this isn't about, oh gosh, I gotta like sell something at my front desk. I tried that before. No, this is about having an easy to implement system without inventory, having e-commerce. You can do this a variety of different ways, but Jason, you asked me what my preference is. My preference is those docs that utilize, for instance, our Smart Care store system that gives them the availability to have thousands of products, ultimately access to thousands of products that are drop shipped directly to their patients, their clients, individuals in their practice each and every month. That builds subscription, membership, recurring type revenue, especially when it's a consumable good such as a vitamin D, a multivitamin, etc. Now, depending upon what type of chiropractor you are, and even beyond that, just what you're into as a human being, you might choose to offer other things on a recurring basis. Cool. World's your oyster. Go for it. Most important thing is first understanding that the people that are coming in to see you already or have saw you in the past are purchasing a lot of stuff elsewhere that they could be purchasing from you. So previous, we talked about the segment when we were talking about relationships, who has your, what other healthcare providers have your patients, your ideal patients in their practice. This is almost an interesting take on that. I'm thinking about this live right now, but what are those individuals in your practice already purchasing elsewhere that you could supply for them? And if you can do that, I can nearly guarantee they're going to receive a better product because you'll probably be a stickler, being a chiropractor and caring about their health more than Amazon and them just randomly searching. But the second component is you'll be able to build that monthly recurring revenue off of that. So Jason, I went a few different directions there. I'll kick it back to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to make sure people realize, because, chiropractors sort of listen to sometimes partial issues and then come up with the rest of the story themselves. Let's be really clear. If you love the way you practice, you can continue to practice the way you practice. And if you don't want to sell supplements or sell your knowledge, you can continue to offer your care. Here's the one caveat to that. The question you have to ask yourself is it ethical and is it appropriate for somebody to come for your service at least one time per month? Okay, now you could do this per quarter, you could do this per year, but somewhere, obviously, if you're going to generate recurring revenue, you need to provide some sort of recurring service. So you can stay a chiropractor, not sell anything else but your current chiropractic care if you want to. That's option one. Option two, Jeff just said it, and I'm going to be repetitive because it takes a while to kind of go, wait a minute, this does make a lot of sense. There are lots of people that are coming to your practice already spending lots of money on products they know they should be taking that they actually, in some cases, expect you to provide for them. How do I know that? Because I know you get questions about these things practically daily. Hey, doc, is there something I should be taking for my supplements or for my health every day? Hey, could I bring in my supplements and you evaluate and let me know if these are the right things I should be taking or not? Hey, doc, what do you take on a regular basis? What do you give your family on a regular basis for me to continue this journey towards better health? You're my guide. Guide me. And many chiropractors, unfortunately fall victim to the self-esteem issue that, they once heard somebody say, I went to a chiropractor and they sold me this bag of pills and I'll never go to a chiropractor again. We've all heard some version of that story. And some of us take that personally. We're like, that's never going to happen in my office. So you don't offer anything. But understand that selling is serving. And I don't mean overselling like a salesperson. I mean offering the things that people actually expect from you. These are things that your clients, your patients are already buying. I'm not suggesting you start offering real estate or car washes or marriage counseling or things that have nothing to do with what you're providing and what people expect from you on a regular basis. These are in your wheelhouse. And we're also talking about things that are not treatment specific. So we are not talking about if you've got this problem or diagnosis, I'll treat it with this particular solution. We're specifically talking about everybody, everyday type products and programs. There are certain things that everybody, you, me, all of us should be doing that contribute to our health. Getting adjusted is one of those things we should be doing regularly. Proper nutrition is one of those things we should be doing regularly. And we're teaching the concept here. We're not selling you something. We're teaching you how to think about this. There's probably lots of things you would recommend your patients, clients, community do on a regular basis. They could be getting from you that you could be then generating monthly recurring revenue in order to cover your monthly expenses. And I assure you, you will be a better doctor and you will be a better human being. You will like yourself more when you have less financial stress. We've all been there. We've all lived with financial stress. We've all lived without financial stress. And we all know which one is better. So this is a new way, a fresh way to be able to address the fundamental underlying issue that drives you in practice. And one of our major motivations for doing this, people are like, oh, who needs to buy another thing? Why bring this up? Let me make it really simple. Jeff and I have poured our hearts into this profession for decades. And we have introduced all kinds of different really cool ideas and interesting innovations. But the majority of the profession we have found gets stuck in I need more new patients. We provide great explanations, terrific presentations, speeches from stage, you name it. And somehow at the end of all of it, we get, that was wonderful, but is this going to get me more new patients? Because that's what I need. And a profession, wondering sometimes why more people don't appreciate what we do, might just be self-reflective enough to say, maybe we're not being generous enough. Maybe we're not thinking about people enough because we're so worried about our own financial survival. Now, I hope that's not you. I hope you're going, well, that's not me. Great, that's not you. But collectively, that has been the experience, is if it doesn't get you a new patient in your practice in the next few minutes for a low cost to calculate your ROI, you're too busy, you've got too many things to do to solve that problem. And that's really what drove us to get to this, which is, you know what? You're right. You shouldn't have that problem. How do we solve that problem? How do you wake up every first day of the month and transform it from that gut-wrenching, oh God, please, I hope we can not only pay our bills, but make a little extra this month, and turn it into payday, a guaranteed day that you're going to cover all of your expenses for that month so that you can have the freedom to enjoy your practice and your life. That's our drive to bring the payday practice concept to you. And we went so far as to say, it's not just an idea, here's the solution. So if you're curious to figure out, how do I do it? Then stay tuned, learn more. This segment was sponsored by the Payday Practice, which will teach you more about Smart Care stores and Basis Health supplements. You'll learn all about it if you're interested. If you're not, take the idea and run with it. Our collective profession will be better when everybody can afford to tell the truth. That's our drive. That's our motivation. Hope it makes sense. If you got questions, leave them down below. That's what our show and program is about. We got books coming, training coming. We got ongoing resources to help you make this simple and easy. Everyone's going to do it maybe a little bit differently, and that's okay. We just want to see you get out of the financial stress so that you can enjoy your life, enjoy your practice, enjoy your family, and not be so financially stressed out all the time. If we can solve for that, we think we've done this profession a great service.
I agree. Another great show. Great work with the business principles segment, Jason. Fantastic show. We kicked it off talking This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Rewind if you missed that one. Monthly campaign, sports chiropractic. We were talking CrossFit, the benefits of strength and flexibility, how to position that. So check that out if you're interested. We had Dr. Liana Rapecki, a new Smart Chiropractor member, utilizing the email opt-in and combining it with social and the blog. Wonderful job. We had Dr. Allison Evans as our featured guest. Talked mindset, entrepreneurship, just a loaded interview that was great. 2 keys to improve your call to action. We call it the invitation. That was during our strategic marketing. And we just wrapped up with how you can reduce practice stress through recurring revenue. Best one yet, Jason. Closing thoughts on today's Smart Chiropractor show. What do you think?
Listen, we're doing our very best to practice what we preach. We love what we do. We're passionate about what we do. There's a lot of other ways to make money easier than this, but we love teaching our profession how to thrive, how to think differently and apply today's technology in new ways and really grow your practice, grow your revenue. Most importantly, grow yourself. You can't do the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect better results or different results. And if you kind of hit that plateau, if you know there's something more, if you want something more, if you're ready to get out of the routine of frustration and grow into the opportunity of really thinking generously, you know, where I came from, it was all about give, love, and serve out of a state of abundance. That was the mindset of what we were taught to do as chiropractors. And most chiropractors I know are truly loving, caring human beings who want to be able to use their hands in the most simple way and bring out people's best, bring out their healing, help them accelerate their healing naturally without the use of dangerous, expensive, and sometimes deadly narcotics, or even worse, surgeries that often go wrong or don't offer any help. And the science says it. I'm not being judgmental. Follow the science, do the research. It's all there. We're living in a crazy healthcare system, and I think we all, hopefully as chiropractors, know that we have such an opportunity to be a solution to our healthcare crisis. But if we're the ones collectively struggling financially, we don't have the abundance to be of service to other people. We're more worried about our own survival than others. And there's no way you and your practice and we collectively can ever reach our potential if we don't address these basic things. We got to think different. Times are different. It's not 1895. It's not even the early 1900s. It's not even 1990 or the early 2000s anymore. Wherever you learned what you learned, I can assure you, ask any business owner, the world has changed. The pandemic just changed it once again. I don't care how good or big your business was, we're living in new times. And that means it's time for new ideas, and we want to be the people that bring you those new ideas and solutions. One of the most frustrating things Jeff and I committed to, we would watch from stage really super elegant speakers talk all about wonderful ideas. We'd go back to practice and go, oh, how do I do that? Because it sounded good on Saturday, but it's Monday, and I'm not sure how to change the world like that. We're going to give you the ideas and the tools and the guidance to implement those tools to elevate our profession, make a greater difference in the world. That's why we do what we do. Jeff, I don't know, I get a little excited about it all. Sad to wrap it up, but we'll be back next Tuesday. What are your thoughts for closing today?
I'm pumped, and I'm going to encourage everybody, if you've been tuning in, please keep doing so. You can set that notification. You'll get alerted when we go live each Tuesday. Additionally, if you're interested in a lot of the content, topics, application of what we discussed, head over to smartchiropractor.com. You can check out the blog. There are dozens, probably hundreds at this point, of blogs around the topics of marketing, clinical practice, etc. Be on the lookout for our interview podcast where the guest lineup is pretty sweet. I am pumped, and you can continue to watch some of those guest interviews come out on this show each and every week. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune in. Thank you for being a part of our community. Let us know how we can serve you at the highest level possible. That means if you have guests that you'd love to hear us interview, if you have topics you'd love to see broached, whether they're hard or easy, we're up to the challenge and up to the task. We're going to have a lot of fun in the process. So we'll see you next week, if not before then. Have a fantastic week in practice, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to the Smart Chiropractor. We are posting videos on how you can market your chiropractic practice in a way that teach and invites consistently. We have found that is the magic formula to big time growth. So if you like this video, be sure to comment down below, smash that subscribe button, or visit us at thesmartchiropractor.com.